This is big stuff. And so, and thank you for bringing that video.
I think that it's very helpful that he's handy.
Extra, last week, we learned that Sunny's husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, was named in a lawsuit filed by American Transit Insurance Company.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Guys, this is why we need to seriously have a long, lengthy conversation about healthcare.
Treatments with American Transit citing New York's 1974 no-fault law as contributing to widespread insurance fraud.
The View co-host Sunny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud.
Yeah, you're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to...
Sunny Hostin, co-host of The View, former federal prosecutor, and proud voice of morality, is now facing one of the biggest personal scandals of her life. Her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, is caught in a jaw-dropping $450 million RICO lawsuit, accused of widespread insurance fraud in what may be New York's largest case of its kind. As the media digs deeper and silence becomes louder, the internet is ablaze with questions. Is Sunny Hostin complicit or simply a bystander? Can the couple survive the financial and reputational fallout? And most of all, how did a respected medical professional get tangled in a scheme that resembles a mafia playbook? Let's break it all down.
Yeah, you're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. Let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures, and look at her track record. How many times has she had to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said on the show? And then she also, on Trump's win, calling the loss because of uneducated white women that Trump won.
We have to know that this is accused.
All accused. Yeah, all accused, but he's in the RICO. This is a big RICO case that her husband's in there.
Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, an esteemed orthopedic surgeon and husband to TV personality Sunny Hostin, is at the heart of a $450 million RICO lawsuit. This isn't just a civil matter, it's a federal legal grenade. RICO lawsuits are used to dismantle organized crime, which means prosecutors believe this goes beyond simple billing mistakes. They're painting a picture of a calculated, large-scale scheme involving multiple players working together in a complex web of fraud. To make it worse, this is being described as the largest insurance fraud case in New York history.
The View co-host Sunny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud. According to a new lawsuit obtained by Page 6, the orthopedic surgeon was one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeer influenced and corrupt organization cases ever filed in New York. Emmanuel was accused of federal insurance fraud and, quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies and Uber and Lyft drivers. According to the documents, he knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries.
It's not every day that a respected doctor, married to one of the most vocal women on daytime television, ends up in the middle of such a high-stakes legal storm. The pressure is mounting, and all eyes are now on how the Hostin family plans to respond. The lawsuit alleges that Dr. Hostin and his colleagues performed surgeries that were either medically unnecessary or, in some cases, never performed at all. These weren't just routine mistakes. Prosecutors believe these were intentional acts designed to generate massive insurance payouts. The alleged victims, insurance companies covering vulnerable rideshare workers, Uber, Lyft, and taxi drivers, many of whom may not have had the medical knowledge or power to question the procedures pushed onto them. That adds a disturbing ethical layer. If proven true, it means this scheme didn't just exploit companies, it exploited working-class individuals under the guise of help. It's this level of alleged manipulation that takes the accusations from unethical to possibly criminal, and the fact that these surgeries could have harmed real patients makes the case all the more chilling.
Orthopedic surgeon and husband of The View co-host Sunny Hostin is accused in December lawsuit fraudulently billing insurance. By the way, this is a Daily Caller story I'm reading. The lawsuit alleges Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services in exchange for kickbacks and or compensation, and names him among nearly 200 defendants in one of New York's largest RICO cases. Wow. Hostin's attorney Daniel Twites denies the allegations, calling the lawsuit a meritless attempt by a near-bankrupt insurance carrier to intimidate doctors and restrict healthcare benefits. The case involves claims that Hostin performs unnecessary surgeries on patients after minor accidents without exploring less invasive treatments, with American Transit citing New York's 1974 no-fault law as contributing to widespread insurance fraud.
This isn't an isolated case with one or two bad actors. The lawsuit names nearly 200 defendants, including doctors, clinics, and hospitals, forming what prosecutors describe as a massive corruption ring. It's essentially being described as a medical mafia, where everyone in the chain allegedly benefited from a kickback system that incentivized unnecessary procedures, padded bills, and fraudulent claims. Think about that. Almost 200 professionals potentially coordinating in a money-making machine at the expense of insurers and possibly patients.
Guys, this is why we need to seriously have a long, lengthy conversation about healthcare in the United States of America. This is basically it. So Sunny Hostin's husband was basically charged with insurance fraud. What he was doing was doing like fraudulent surgeries and then overcharging the insurance companies for them. This is what this is. So now, of course, he's now being named along with about 200 other individuals in a federal RICO charge case, guys.
Dr. Hostin's inclusion in such a massive indictment makes it clear this isn't about one doctor going rogue. It suggests deep, systemic rot. If convicted, this could expose major cracks in how medical care and insurance claims are processed in the U.S. And for someone like Sunny Hostin, who built her career on truth and justice, it's a painful contradiction. At the heart of this lawsuit are the staggering financial losses insurance companies claim they suffered. Firms like American Transit Insurance argue they were billed for surgeries that were not only unnecessary, but, in many cases, never happened at all.
I've been waiting my whole life for this. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for the View host, Sunny Hostin, has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She got in. She run. These women tell me why she got her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud, and I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury? Roll it, Nick.
You know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband.
Imagine being billed tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, of dollars for procedures that existed only on paper. The fraud, they say, wasn't subtle. It was industrial level, systematic, and devastating to their bottom lines. And when the numbers add up to $450 million in damages, it's clear this wasn't a one-off error. These companies are fighting not just for reimbursement, but to expose what they believe was a coordinated scheme. And if the evidence holds up, it could mean criminal charges, prison time, and financial ruin for many involved, including Dr. Hostin. Dr. Emmanuel Hostin isn't taking this lying down. His legal team, led by celebrity lawyer Mark Garagos, is already on the offensive. Garagos claims the lawsuit is a baseless smear, orchestrated by struggling insurance companies trying to recover losses they brought on themselves. According to him, these insurance firms are using the courts to silence and intimidate doctors who challenge their claim denials or billing practices. It's a bold defense, painting Dr. Hostin not as a fraudster, but as a victim of corporate retaliation. But with hundreds of defendants and mountains of alleged evidence, it's unclear whether the court or public opinion will buy that narrative. Still, Garagos is known for winning tough battles. Whether that helps Dr. Hostin or not remains to be seen.
Last week, we learned that Sunny's husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, was named in a lawsuit filed by American Transit Insurance Company. He's one of 200 people named in this lawsuit, and they are accusing him of filing fraudulent insurance claims and also getting kickbacks from them. And it's a very serious crime. In fact, it's one of the largest, if not the largest, RICO case in New York's history, and they're seeking $450 million. And Sunny and her husband, they are fighting back.
Sunny Hostin has built her brand on being outspoken, especially when it comes to politics, justice, and accountability. But in this case, she's gone completely silent. No statements on The View, no social media posts, no interviews. And that silence is deafening. For someone who passionately calls out others for wrongdoing, her decision to stay quiet when it's her own family in the spotlight isn't sitting well with fans. Some see it as hypocrisy, others wonder if she's being advised to lay low legally. Either way, the contrast between her usual moral high ground and her current silence is striking, and it's starting to chip away at her credibility. Sunny Hostin has always portrayed herself as the moral compass of The View, never afraid to confront racism, call out corruption, or challenge political narratives. That image has helped her build a loyal following. But now, critics argue that the silence around her husband's case undermines everything she stands for. How can she continue to lecture others on ethics when she refuses to address a scandal in her own home? It's a tough position. No one expects a spouse to publicly denounce their partner, but the lack of any response raises eyebrows.
Different direction. But I love the fact that, Manny is younger and he's
How much younger is he?
Just a little bit.
He's like 1 year, isn't he? Like a month
No.
or a year or 10 years?
No,
or what?
it's more than a year.
Oh.
Anyway, it's not about me. I think.
Oh, no.
I think that it's very helpful that he's handy, and when we travel, I'm not picking up any bags. He's the one that's hefting them overhead. He
Exactly.
throws the garbage out.
Right.
He does the heavy.
This case is pushing her carefully crafted public persona to the edge, and fans are starting to wonder if Sunny's real talk only applies when it's someone else under the microscope. This isn't just a legal crisis, it's a financial one. With the possibility of losing the lawsuit, paying millions in damages, and funding a high-profile legal defense, the Hostins could be looking at total financial collapse. Rumors of bankruptcy are swirling, especially as experts say these kinds of lawsuits can completely drain a family's assets. If insurance companies win even a fraction of their claims, the payouts could be devastating. Add to that lost income from canceled surgeries, reputational damage, and possibly Sunny's future in media being at risk. And it's easy to see why financial panic might be setting in.
Giuliani shook the tree and a bunch of mobsters fell out, right? This is big stuff. And so, and thank you for bringing that video. It sure is ironic that she's up there. So, but if she didn't really know what was going on, right, which is what she's probably going to say later, I had no idea what my husband and his associates were doing. We'll wait and see what that is. But I think it's pretty freaking ironic.
Yeah. I have a totally different perspective on this. I don't really know what happened with this. The facts will come out. What I have a problem with is the core of who this woman is. Unlike you, I don't watch The View, bro. All I do is see clips.
It's just like
twice a day.
Here's all I hear from her. America's violent, America's racist, America's bad. Okay.
A couple once seen as a power duo in medicine, and media might now be facing a total meltdown. As more details emerge, online reactions have grown increasingly dramatic. Comment sections and forums are filled with phrases like medical mafia, white-collar crime syndicate, and RICO-style takedown. People are comparing this scandal to mob-run operations, pointing out the coordination, the fraud, and the vast number of participants. The idea that doctors, those sworn to help people, could be involved in such calculated exploitation has infuriated many. This isn't just about stolen money, it's about broken trust. And the more the public learns, the harder it is for them to separate Dr. Hostin's alleged actions from the broader corruption in healthcare. It's no longer just a scandal, it's a symbol of a broken system. With every day that passes and no statement from Sunny, speculation gets louder. Did she know? Was she involved? Could some of the fraud money have made its way into their shared finances? While there's no evidence tying her directly to the lawsuit, the fact that she's remained tight-lipped only adds fuel to the fire. Viewers are now dissecting old interviews and clips from The View looking for clues. Some believe she's protecting her family, others think she's hiding something. One thing's for sure, her silence is no longer neutral, it's becoming a story of its own. The $450 million lawsuit against Dr. Emmanuel Hostin is far from over, but it's already left a trail of legal, financial, and reputational damage. For Sunny Hostin, the woman who's built a career on transparency, ethics, and fearless commentary, this may be her greatest test yet. Will she address the scandal publicly? Will the Hostins survive the legal storm? And most importantly, how will this case reshape public trust in both medicine and media? One thing's certain, this story is just getting started.